So, Noah.
So, Sylvie.
So, for how long have you been?
You're the worst actor in the world.
Shut up. I'm not a professional. We're just YouTubers. Expiring. What do you want me to say, dude?
Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah. So, somebody had asked us, like, they're like, hey, dude, like, why don't you guys, like, kick it? Shit. And, like, show us what kind of people you are or whatever the fuck. But, so where I started with, let's say, this, well, with train riding or this, alternative lifestyle, or I don't know.
Traveling.
Yeah. But yeah, basically it's just like a delinquent. Fuck, just a little shithead who moved around a little too much. I'm not gonna like get into like, oh yeah, it's like this poor beaten child of my family just hated me and I had to be on my own. That's not really. Whatever. That's another time, another topic for another time. But anyways, just my family was fucking awesome. My mother was great, dude. She was the greatest single mother in the fucking world. But it was just basically, hanging out with a bunch of fucking, buddies that all loved the Grateful Dead, whatever the hell. Started hitchhiking. Basically when I turned it was a little bit after I turned 18, and we went and hitchhiked. Well, more or less it was supposed to be a group of us, but it just ended up being me and my friend Will. We had hitchhiked, made it all the way to Florida, went to, before Florida, New Orleans, and all this stupid shit. This is in 2004? Yeah, 2004. It's right when I turned 18.
That's when I graduated high school.
Same with me. That's at least when I was supposed to graduate high school. But whatever, dude. Got my GED and shit. That's later down the road, but whatever. Made it down to Key West. And yeah, it was just like the greatest time. It was like the wildest, it was so nuts. We just had no idea what the fuck. We just knew how we were where we grew up. And yeah, we were complete jackasses, just like the worst of the worst. But not horrible. I don't know, we were like, whatever. I'm like, God damn it. But after me and Will go to Key West, we go all the way back to New Orleans to try to meet up with our buddies, because you couldn't. All you could rely on was like Hotmail, fucking. I'm sure people remember that. I know a lot of the older people don't. It was before smartphones or whatever. Yeah. But so we made it there, and then we ended up going back east because we had caught wind that the asshole friends were over back in Jacksonville. So we hitchhiked, make it to fucking Mobile, Alabama. So this is the first time ever getting on a train. We end up there. We go there. There's a gas station, Subway, little deal right there by the yard, CS6 yard. Go over there. We run into some crazy old timer. As far as all we know is like, oh, that's just like some other like drunk homeless man. He don't know shit. But he was nice to us. He was like telling us about hot shots and all this weird shit. And we're like, yeah, dude, I don't know. We're just going to try doing whatever. And like monkeying around like a bunch of idiots. And literally it was 2 days of like literally running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Trying to... It got to a point to where we didn't even care which way we went, east or west. It did not matter. It just didn't care. It just got to that point to where you're like, sweating, fucking running, just retarded shit, just horrible. And somehow we had got on a train. We rode a high wall grainer and ended up going east. Got off, I can't remember the name of the town, but it was in Mississippi. So we made it like, you know, probably like 50 miles or something. And we sighted and we got off. So we're like, oh shit, we see a grade crossing. So we just get off. And the whole idea behind that was, it's like, we remembered in the state of Mississippi, you could fucking get up on the interstate legally. You could walk the interstate and hitchhike. And, you know, but that was basically my first train riding thing. But I don't know, what about you, Sil? How was your... What the hell happened to you? What the fuck? Like, seriously, you know, like, stand there all, like, giggling at me and shit. You know, what the fuck did you do? How, like, and when was this? What years and all this?
The year was... Well, I grew up in Bakersfield, California. Pretty much, like, I was just a punk rocker that hung out on a corner. Working at Charlotte Russe as an assistant manager. First person in my family pretty much to get like her own apartment at the age of 18. Doing good. You know, working 2 jobs as a librarian and being an assistant manager. And I was just like a punk rocker that hung out on the weekends, going to punk shows. And then I would run into kids that would come through train hopping. Actually, they were kids that Noah knew. I met his little sister, Eric, Safe Travel, Chris, bunch of kids. They had like a place called, I don't know, what was it called in Auburn?
Crack Corner.
Yeah, Crack Corner. It was kind of like our thing called 19th Street.
That's where all the delinquents
on the
hang
corner.
out. The high school delinquents, you know.
So
back in the good old days.
On 19th Street, we had 2 benches on a corner, and it was like catty corner to Vest Liquor. And then there was Jerry's Pizza. That's where all the punk shows went down at. And we all just like hung out there, drank, you know. The Peckerwoods from Oildale will come down, and we, you know, punk rockers fight the skins. Not skinheads, but, you know, the white powerfuls that would come down, start shit with the punk rockers.
Tweaker white dudes, basically.
You know, and we have a lot of those in Bakersfield, California. Well, just in California in general. And I would always meet traveling kids that would, like, get off the train, come hang out with us, get drunk, and they would leave, and then the next weekend there'll be more of them with like guitars, mandolins, banjos, dogs, and packs, and all kinds of shit, you know. And it's like, so one year, me and my ex Sid were like, we weren't together, we were just all hanging out on the corner, getting drunk for some weekend. It was like January, and like the girl comes down with like the 2 dudes, and we get drunk, go to a show. Then after the show, we go back to this place we were staying at, and she gets left there pretty much, and then she gets ditched by both the dudes. And then she talks the dude who like owned the house we were staying at type thing. He didn't own the house. It was just like renting this studio that like 9 of us lived in, and talked him into like quitting his welding job to get like Carhartt's backpack from the Army surplus store, a pack of cartons, and a bunch of weed for us to leave town. And then I was like, yo, you guys are gonna go hop trains. I want to hop trains, because I would always like get drunk and go walk with all the train hoppers to like Union Avenue Bridge and like pass out with them. And then
you would literally and
then
leather
like
vest, like
then I'll have a leather jacket with my skirt, pass out with my leather jacket on my legs, and I'll wake up with them getting on a train, and I'll get up and go back down to 19th Street, go hang out at the tattoo shop and get drunk again. And that's what I did. And then this one time I was like, man, I always wanted to travel to get the fuck out of Bakersfield, because I've never seen other shit but like what, LA and like Vegas, like never really seen snow, or like I didn't even know it got cold outside of Bakersfield, like straight the fuck up. So it's like, all right, hey, we're like gotta go get on a train, and it's like, all right, what do I need? Asking this girl, and she's like, oh, you need a sleeping bag. And I was like, all right, I got a sleeping bag. And I took my Jana Sports backpack. Then I had a bunch of burnt CDs with my CD player that I took with me, my leather jacket. I didn't own a pair of pants then. And then I just took I took my hair straightener with my blow dryer because I had Tri-Hawks, and then all my hair dye and all my makeup. And that's what I left town with. We go wait for a train at the UP yard in Bakersfield, and then a IM pulls up with the fucking bucket, and then it's like, oh cool, this is our ride. We get on it, and like we're leaving, and I had a dog named Rabies at the time, and we're on like the train going north, and then I'm like getting really cold because I don't have pants. I just have fishnets on with my leather jacket and skirt, and it's like, gotta pull out my sleeping bag. The girl kept telling me, no, don't pull out your sleeping bag because we're gonna get to a place called Stockton with the IM facility. And I was like, fuck this, it's cold, I don't care. And I pulled out my shit, and then that's when like we had dogs and they like attacked each other. It's crazy. Long story short, we get to Stockton in the morning. We jump off the train. And then it was like super cold all night. We were fucking miserable, dude. So fucking cold. Like the sun came out. We finally were able to go to sleep. Get some 40s. We spent some 40s. Made a sidewalk slam. And then like just hung out at this park all day. And then it's like, all right, we tried hopping out. It wasn't working. And then we just started walking. I don't know, because we figured like the furthest you get out of the yard, maybe trains might stop for clearance. This was before we knew anything about trains. So
yeah, nobody had no cell phones or anything. Yeah.
So we just started walking. And then all night we were walking. We finally made it to the same PM where we were trying to get water and like spend for 40 to spend. And there's this like dude in the dumpster throwing cans out, and he was like, you guys hungry? And it's like, hell yeah, fuck yeah, we're hungry. He was like, I just dumpstered all these like cheeseburgers from AM PM here. And then we all ate cheeseburgers with him. And it was like an old tramp, I guess, named Scarecrow. And then he's the one that showed us actually how to ride trains. And then like he got out of the dumpster and was like, oh yeah, like I guess he was like he was like a heroin addict. I guess that's why he was digging in the trash to get cans, to get dope. But since he met us, he's been like a couple days clean. It was like, oh, I'm trying to be clean, but I know of a spot that we go sleep at. I know the security guard at the strip club. We could find like knives, everything in this dumpster. Let's go to it. And it was raining already, so we walked all the way to the strip club. And like we get there, we start looking at the dumpster. We found a couple knives and like a gold chain and I don't know, some other shit. So we sleep in the bag. We get waken up by like the security guard, and the security guard knew him, so we didn't get in trouble for sleeping there. And he was like, all right, I know this spot, we could get on a train. So he takes us all the way to like the north side. This is my first time being out of Bakersfield. I didn't fly signs, I just like crack Spains, you know, ask people for money walking by on the corner, like for beer. I never like hold a sign like right on, you know, a piece of cardboard and ask for money on a corner until I met this dude. And then we're at this Albertsons parking lot in Stockton, flying a sign, and all of a sudden there's like some like lowrider cars, and it's like a North Daniel, so it's like a it's like a North Sider versus a South Sider and lowriders. So it's a Northerner and a South Sider, you know, gang stuff. And then the North Sider has a megaphone yelling out like North Daniel puto, with this, like, you know, like, I guess, like a, what are they called? Like a automatic Uzi or something, shooting out the window. And then all of a sudden, both of them pull over, let the hyenas out like their girlfriends, and they go straight for each other, start beating the fuck out of each other. And then, like, they start doing donuts, and, like, they start shooting at each other. And that was, like, my first time, like, the first night being out on the road. And it was like,
leaving beggars.
holy fuck. Like, this shit is crazy. This is how it always is out here. What the fuck? Like, this is nuts. Then we finally walk out. Then he was like, oh, I know this Chinese shop. Amy, she, like, gives us free foods if I throw away her trash and pick up a parking lot. And it's like, okay, whatever, dude, let's go. So we go over to this Chinese restaurant, and sure enough, dude, like, we picked up her trash and did all kinds of work for her, and, like, she gives us a bunch of train food. We go wait for a train, and we go to Roseville. Get a train out of there after a few nights. And then it's like, fuck, dude, like, couldn't get out of Roseville because old-timers, they always think a white car is a rail cop, or anybody driving with headlights gonna come arrest you or do something. We literally walked from Roseville to Sacramento to this BNSF sighting.
Solid, like, 20 miles.
I don't know, it took us fucking days to walk.
Far.
So we walked all the way there, and he was like, hey, I know this pizza shop. We could get dumpster pizza. And then sure enough, like, everything he said, dude, like, we always had food and, like, always had everything we needed. So we caught this BNSF train, a boxyard up to K Falls. And it's like, you know how it is, like, it's like 85 degrees and shit, like, you know, kind of cold at night, 40s at the night in California. So we're going up to Oregon now. I didn't even know where we were going, but we're going to K Falls, he said. Once we get to K Falls, there's like fucking snow on the ground. I got steel-toe white boots on with skirts, a skirt on with fishnets, and a leather jacket. We jump off the train, like, there's literally snow to my knees. And it was like, what the fuck? This sucks. Like, so we end up ditching the girl there. Then he was like, oh, I know this mission. We could go get food and, like,
the brick wall, bro.
We go get food and, like, you'll be able to get clothes there. And then, like, we go all the way to the mission, and this mission hates women. They told me I got kicked out of the mission because I was laying too close to this guy Sid. So they kicked me out in the fucking snow. They wouldn't give me clothes. Like, it was fucked up. It was a miserable time. But I was able to get clothes because Sid was able to get in there and, like, put on, like, ski bibs and, like, give me ski bibs and, like, get me everything I need out of there. And, like, I met a bunch of, like, old timers there. Like, we literally watched these old timers in the snow trying to get on empty lumber racks going north on the fly. And it was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I don't know. It's fucking nuts, man. And then it was just like, I don't know, we went all the way north with this dude. Like, made it all the way to fucking, we went back to K Falls Yard.
Yeah, Scarecrow.
At the BNSF.
OG, dude, that's for sure.
He, like, showed us how to ride trains, and it's like, we met a worker. We opened a boxcar with the wooden floor that had a little, like, a step to get on, and the worker's like, hey, this is a plug door, we gotta shut it, but there's another boxcar you guys could get on. And then we go and get on this boxcar, he told us, that was up the way, and we rode it all the way to Bend, Oregon. And then there was this, like, other tramp trying to get on our train named Barry, another old-timer. And Scarecrow thought he was a worker because he had those, like, Kmart headphones that were a radio that you could, like, change it, and it had the antenna. So the red light, he thought it was, like, the scanner or something. So he got, like, super scared, and it was, like, this other tramp just trying to find a ride. So we let him ride with us, and we didn't have any food by this time, so he had a bunch of fucking food. So he like cooked up a bunch of food. We rode all the way to Pasco, Washington with him. He was like, because all these old timers, they know like, oh, I know a spot to get food, or I know a dumpster, blah blah blah. Then we get to Pasco and like Barry's like, oh, I know this meat cutter. We could get all the fat and make a stew, and he'll throw some chunks in it for us. And we walk all the way to this like butcher he knew. And then my dog at this time, like, literally we're like cooking a stew with him, and it's like too much. Dude's like crazy. Scarecrow and him weren't getting along type thing. And then like we're back underneath the BNSF bridge trying to catch out by the Albertsons. And then I wake up, my dog's missing. My dog literally ran 4 miles to where this dude Barry was, because he kept feeding him hot dogs and fat and shit. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, so we all went back to get my dog. And then like I got super sick. I like caught pneumonia. Couldn't talk for like a week and a half. I was stuck underneath this bridge. Like, it was to the point where I was gonna have to like call 911 to like, because I was like that sick. And the rail cop came, like ran our names, and I couldn't get out of bed. And he was like, all right, and like knew the dude we were with like by name and shit. And he was like, I caught you 43 times here. I told you again, if I caught you, I was taking you to jail. You youngsters shouldn't be hanging out with this dude. Like, he left us alone because I was like super sick. And then he was like, all right, once you get better, just like, you need to get out of here. And of course, like, I think like a week later I finally got better or something like that. And then we went to the siding, because Scarecrow is always about fucking sidings, man. Make you walk far as fuck to go wait for a train that's not gonna come till 3 or 4 days.
Fucking boot camp.
And then like once the train came, you had no food. Yeah, you had water, but you had no food, dude. We literally found mac and cheese. A box of mac and cheese, and that's what we have for train food. Caught this train going south towards Portland. I don't know, like, I guess it wasn't Portland. I guess it was like, what's that town over the river from Portland? Vancouver. It's going to Vancouver. So we're on this boxcar. We've been on this boxcar forever when we finally got it in the morning. Fucking starving, dude. We're literally taking shots of hard mac and cheese with cheese, dude. That's what we have for food. And then we're like going by the Willamette River or whatever the fuck. So you see all the McDonald's, Del Taco, or whatever, Taco Bell, all the fast food restaurants.
Yeah,
we stop.
Columbia, yo.
Yeah, it's across the Columbia. We fucking stop, and there's an overpass above us, and it's like, we're fucking hungry. Been on this train, I think, like 38 hours. I don't know. It's been a long ass time with no food. Just this fucking hard ass mac and cheese we've been eating. We didn't even have a stove. We couldn't even start a fire. It's been raining. And then it's like, we're getting off this bitch. Right when we get off, we try to like see if we could like get up to the bridge. There's no way for us to go from the tracks to this bridge. Train airs up and leaves. There's no other rides for us to get on. We're fucked. So this place is called Camas, Washington. We literally walked from Camas, Washington all the way to Portland, Oregon. It took us like 3 days or some shit, dude. Then my ex-boyfriend Sid found a little scooter, so he was like scooting his little ass around, fucking like when me and Scarecrow's walking. And one time we stop at a gas station, Scarecrow got the fucking scooter and threw it in the river, and was like, fuck you, you gotta fucking walk like us, motherfucker.
You little weasel motherfucker.
Then when we finally get to Portland, we never been to Portland, you know, like I said, we never left Bakersfield before, so it's like, hell yeah, I heard a bunch of badass punk music's here, we're gonna fucking stay here. Then it's like, we get there, and it's like, Scarecrow told us, there's a lot of heroin here, I can't be here, dude. Like, you guys got until tomorrow, We'll meet here at this fountain. If you guys aren't here by this time, I have to leave with or without you guys. And then, like, we show up at the fountain the next day just to tell them, hey, we're not gonna leave with you, but thank you, like, you know, for showing us everything. And never seen that dude again, dude. But I've heard this old timer tell me he literally murdered the dude.
Yeah, word on the street. Sucks.
In Coffeyville, Texas. And the funny thing is, he told me when I was here in Green River.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy fuck, dude.
Sucks, yeah, because that dude actually, Scarecrow, I met him as well, dude, in fucking Eugene. With folks too, man. He didn't seem like no bad guy to me, man.
His tags are actually still around, dude. Yeah. There's a tag here that's still there. Yeah. From like 2002, 2012. There's a tag in Eugene still.
Thanks for doing this. So,
I don't know. But that's how I became riding trains.
A transient. Are you a traveler, Sylvia?
Well, I never fucking hitchhiked.
Are you yeah, you got me on that. I was totally tried and true hitchhiker for a good, like, solid 8 months. Or whatever. That 2004.
But yeah, that's our story. So I'm turning it over to
in a nutshell, you know.